Good morning, everyone, and welcome again to our information session for the BSc Information Technology program. This is one of the newest and most affordable BSc in Trinidad and Tobago. And my name is Ravi Raghunath, and I'll be presenting today's session with you guys. So I'm the Executive Director of CTS College. I did not include, and please forgive me for the oversight, I did not include Stefan's name on it. Stefan Rampersad is the BSc IT Program Manager. He'll be the person working with you guys, taking applications, submitting it to the university, providing feedback, and guiding you all. It's like a personal concierge throughout your journey at CTS College, and he'll be there supporting you. You will have him on speed dial, right, throughout the whole program, because you're going to be seeing emails from him on a regular basis once you start the program as well. Okay, so we are here to assist you and support you throughout your journey. Before you get started, however, it's really important to us that you find out more about the program. We strongly believe that every program or every decision you make, right, is an investment. It's an investment of your time, your effort, etc. And the reason for this information session is really, before you make a decision to start, we want you to get all the details about the program, get all your questions answered. Because when you dive in, we want you to dive in wholeheartedly, not half-heartedly, right? We don't want you to come in and you're still skeptical, you're still unsure, etc. Because at the end of it, we don't want you to waste your time nor your money either. And at the same time, we want you to always make the right choices also. So this session really is to provide you with all the details that you need to help you to make the right choices as well, right? Or at least you feel comfortable about your choice. What are we going to cover in today's information session? In today's session, we look at why study, first of all. Why should you study? Why do people study in the first instance, whether it's information technology or otherwise, right? And why study a BSc in information technology? We look at why study with the University of Bedfordshire, because truthfully, there are many other options available to you guys as well. Bedfordshire is not the only option available in Trinidad, right? And why study at CTS College? I mean, there are other institutions, What are some of the reasons why you should study at CTS College? We look at features of the program. We look at what you were going to cover in the course, so what you would learn. We talk about how the timetable and how it would fit into, how this program can fit into your busy lifestyle. We'll talk about the support that is available to you guys as well. We'll talk about graduation, about the entry requirements to determine if you're eligible to study. We'll talk about the costing as well. And then we look at when can you start. Good. So those are some of the things we'll cover. And anything else, of course, you can ask along the way. Okay. So why study, first of all? If I were to ask you guys, and I wouldn't mind you guys sharing with me at this point, why are you choosing to study in the first place? Why don't you just continue and not bother to study? Why are you choosing to study? What's your reason? Anyone? Come on, it's an open floor. I'd love for you guys to participate.
To make myself more marketable.
Very good, to improve your marketability. All right, very good. Carlton, would you want to share why you think persons should study? Why would you recommend yourself or your kids or anyone to study in that regard?
Well, I want my kids to do much better than I did.
Excellent, and I agree with you as well. And Clinton, what are your thoughts, right? Or Miss Antoine, Clarissa? Any one of you, why do you think studying is important?
Just to gain more knowledge.
Very good, yes.
Your field that you want to go into and that sort of thing.
Correct. Most of you are working, I assume, right? I assume most of you would have worked at some point or would have at least familiar with what the workplace is like. And if you look at your workplace, right, the persons usually at the top of the organization, who you think generally, if in your perception, who are the most qualified persons in the organization, right? Academically qualified, typically. Is it persons more at the entry positions or is it typically people at the higher positions as well?
Persons on top.
Right. Often it's the person at the higher end, would be more qualified. Of course, you would have a few entry persons who may not have experience, but may be well qualified as well. And that's understandable, right? But typically when you look at organizations, the persons who are most qualified are often at the top of the organization. And those who are who are the less qualified or less experienced, often at the bottom. We do have a few differences as well, and there are a few exceptions to the rule as well. So for example, a person may have started their own business, may not be the most qualified, started their own business, but the persons they employ may be more qualified than they are, right? So you do have exceptions, but by and large, most persons in an organization, the most qualified ones are often sitting at the top of the organizations, right? And now we're seeing more and more persons being more qualified as well entering the organization. So in terms of why studying, most of you have already answered, and based on past surveys, because we would have asked this similar question year after year at the information session, right? And these are some of the typical reasons people give in terms of studying. One, promotion. So it didn't matter whether they were studying a bachelor's degree in IT, whether they were looking at doing the MBA, right? The reasons were generally the same. They were studying because they wanted a promotion, they wanted a career change, they wanted to start or grow their own business, they wanted an increase in salary, all right, or for personal achievement. So these are some of the reasons. Now, why specific to IT, right? For specific to IT, persons may want more practical experience in IT. You may want to start your career in IT as well. Some of you may already have work experience in IT, but the fact is that you don't have the academic requirement to help you to get that promotion you need. So the promotion is the main reason studying, right? Of course, it's to enhance your employability as well. So these are often the reasons people have given for choosing to study. Now, often when you look at studying, if I were to ask you, what are some of the most crucial factors that impact you when studying? So back to you again, what are some of the things that matter most to you when you are going to study, right? What do you look at most? So what are the things, the factors that matter? Is it the price? Is it the duration of the course, the support? What are the things matter to you?
The price, the duration of the course, and the time.
The time, wonderful.
Yeah, once you can
Good.
work around work, that will be fine.
And I appreciate that, Nalini. Right? What about the others? Is it generally the same as well for you guys? The reason why you choose a program?
Pretty much.
No problem. I'll share with you some of the things we looked at when we were choosing a program, right? Now, we've been interviewing persons as well, and what we've been trying to do is offer programs that meet the demands and the needs of the students. And over the years, well, I'll come to that shortly. What we're going to do before we get into that, I wanted to spend some time with you all looking at your degree as an investment rather than a cost. The truth is that many times when persons have to do something, they look at the cost rather than look at the investment opportunity and what the opportunities presented after the investment as well. So I wanted to share with you a simple example. I'm going to use the OJT salary chart, right? As an OJT salary, if you have a CSEC qualification, your monthly salary will be $3,025. If you have A-levels or you have a diploma, your monthly salary will be roughly $4,356. An associate degree, $5,445, and a bachelor's degree, $7,562.50. Now, as I said, most persons, regardless of whether you're choosing to study at CTS or any other school, even if you're just choosing to study, right, you spend more time focusing on the cost as opposed to the opportunities. And I want to share this example with you guys. Just looking at the scale there, the CXC, if you're an OJT with CXC qualification versus an OJT with a bachelor's degree, can you suggest what the difference in salary will be each month? One is $3,025, one is $7,562. I'm not looking for an exact answer, ballpark figure, roughly about how many $1,000 more you'll be getting with a bachelor's degree, right? Almost $4,500 more, right? 4,000 or 4,500, a bit closer as well, more, right? Is that monthly or is that annually?
Monthly.
Monthly. So that's how much more you're getting in 1 month. Not how much you're getting, but how much more you'll be earning than someone with. Yes, correct. Now, in 1 year, could you tell me how much that works out to? So in 1 year, when you work out that, if you multiply 4,500 by 12, right? If so, in 1 month it's 4537, but in 1 year, you would earn over $54,000 more with a degree versus CXC. And that's just assuming you're working as an OJT, right? So that's using OJT salary. But the truth is, do we just work 1 year and retire? Or how much years typically would you assume someone would work? typically people's work life, maybe about 40 plus years, you'd say,
Yeah.
right? So if I'm using, so let's suppose that every year you got $54,000 more than someone with a CXC. If you multiply that by their working life, let's suppose they're working and they retire a bit early, they work for 40 years. If I multiply this by 40 years, it's over $2 million more you would have earned, right? And that is really the value of your investment. Now, the truth is, what could you do with $2 million more? Any suggestion? You know, your house, your car, your family, you know, your kids, their kids as well. You are basically planting a seed, not just into your life, but into your children's life and their children as well. This is something you are doing for future generations. So whenever you think of studying, whenever you think of making that sacrifice, guys, right? Don't just think of yourself, but think of the future generations who's going to benefit from your hard work as well. Okay, some of you may have been fortunate that your parents planted a seed and that seed has basically bear fruit in your life. And some of you, it may not have quite worked out that way. Your parents may not have gotten to the position of doing something that would have reaped great rewards as well. They love you, but they may not have been able to, but you get the opportunity to do so for your kids and their kids as well, which one of you had indicated to me earlier on about your kids. You want them to be better than you are, right? So given that's the case, we also know that you would not, your salary would not remain fixed for the rest of your life. And we also aware that a person with a degree has much greater chance of a salary increase than a person with CXC passes, right? So it is expected that that difference will continue to get wider and wider and wider. In fact, it is expected to be maybe about 6 million more you would have earned if you have a bachelor's degree versus just you remain with CSEC qualification. When you look at it, guys, it gives you every reason to really consider investing in yourself and starting a degree. And this is not about trying to force CTS into your life. This is about, you know, ministering to you about the choice of studying as well, right? And how you can benefit from it, okay? So hence the reason. Now, so rather than just only at the cost, see it as an investment in yourself, okay? All right. So why study now with the University of Bedfordshire? Many of you may not be familiar with Bedfordshire at all, because if you follow the English Premiership League, the football teams as well, you're familiar with Manchester, Chelsea, United, Liverpool, etc. Right? But there's no team from Bedfordshire that you're familiar with. But the University of Bedfordshire actually is an established UK university. They ranked in the top 6%, sorry, of universities in the world. Please forgive me. Right, they started off like most universities. They started off as a polytechnic institution, like familiar in Trinidad we had John D and Sandotech, and they became universities after with UTT. In the UK, very much the same thing. They started off as a polytechnic school and became a university later on, and they actually ranked in the top 200 new universities as well. They're more than 20,000 students from over 120 different countries. And thanks to the internet as well, the internet has made their studying at a foreign university a lot easier as well. University of Bedfordshire has 5 campuses in the UK, including Luton. So Luton has a football team with it, Bedford, Potteridge, Aylesbury, and Milton Keynes. They have partners in the Middle East, China, Europe, etc. And Trinidad and Tobago became their first partner on the western side of England. Okay, and apart from that too, as I said, they ranked in the top 6% of universities, and they won the Queen's University Prize in 2013. Okay, so just a little bit about the university there. Apart from that too, there's a series of ranking in different areas as well. But between me and you guys, ranking is not the only thing you should look at, right? Ranking is to be very subtle, very small in terms of the factors for choosing university. Of course, if it's a #1 ranked university like Oxford, Cambridge, etc., definitely, you know, because graduates, some of those people snap them up. But other than that, yeah, for the rest of us, really, it may not matter much in terms of it. The other thing we're going to look at is why study at CTS College. So we talked a bit about the university. let me tell you a little bit about CTS College, right? CTS College actually has over 20 years in the education industry. We are a private tertiary provider. We are ACTT recognized, so we offer tertiary programs, but we also added as an organization, you know, sometimes you need to expand and you need to grow. And we've expanded as well, and we've expanded both in breadth and in depth. So for example, we've added CXC programs, we've added a private primary as well as a private secondary. We've offered programs in business and IT, and we offer a range of professional development programs as well to supplement your academic qualifications. So these are a range of the programs we offer. And the next slide is a bit of our bragging page. You see, one of the things at CTS College, we noted for our student support, and we've won 11 ACTT awards. ACTT has this something called the QUITE Awards, the Quality in Tertiary Education Awards. It started in 2011 and it stopped in 2017, I believe. It stopped purely because of funding. I think because you understand as well, in terms of the falling oil price has led to quite a few changes and a cut in terms of government spending. So because of that, they've reduced expenditure and they stopped the QUITE Awards. But during the time it was made of, they had the QUITE Awards. CTS College won more QUITE Awards than any other institution in Trinidad. We've won 6 QUITE Awards for student support services. And that one means the most to me, because you see, our students are our pride and joy. You are the reason for almost everything that we do. We've won awards for excellence for an established quality management system, as well as excellence in teaching and learning. Just a note as well, when we won this award, we were competing with all the giants in Trinidad, with all the more established schools such as UoB, Costa, UTT, USC, University of Southern Caribbean, etc. Right? So it really is a humbling accomplishment to win these awards as well and to be recognized as something that we love doing. Apart from that, we've won over 91 world prizes with ABE. ABE is offered in over 32 different countries at over 200 plus schools as well. And to have the top student in the world in a paper in amongst 20,000 students is really remarkable, right? So that's like, for example, finding out your top SEA kind of thing for us. So in each paper, there's a top award, top paper winner. And in that regard, we've won over 91 world prizes. In Trinidad and Tobago, we've been leading the market in terms of the most AB World Prize winners in the last, in 5 of the last 6 years, I believe, right? We've won 45 university awards with the University of Bedfordshire, and these awards are for the top overall student in the program, right? And we've won with ABME as well. So we've won several awards for academic achievement of our students, and that's really remarkable for us also, because in most cases, to be quite honest, the cream of the crop students typically, and most cases, they tend to do A levels, then go on to UE, etc. Right? But to win these awards really is a wonderful testimony of our students, our teachers, and the support provided at the college as well. So it's a whole team of support as well. And that team is ready to serve you guys as well, to make you our next World Prize winner. But it's not just about winning awards, really, it's about helping students to be the best they can be. You don't need to win an award to be the best you can be, all right? So that's our goal really, is to help you to be the best you. We've had several years of experience with delivering a bachelor's in IT. In fact, we started our first bachelor's in IT program 14 years ago with the University of Hertfordshire. We had a pass rate of over 85% per module with over 2,000 applicants, over 1,700 graduates with over 483 graduating with first class honors, right? And our graduates are employed in various sectors of the economy. In February 2020, which February of this year, we started a new BSc with the University of Bedfordshire. So we'll talk more about this new BSc that we're working with the University of Bedfordshire as well. Now, in terms of the features of the BSc, this is where these features are tailor-made, because over the years, we've been offering programs to students, and we've been asking students about what it is they're looking for, because we want our programs to be relevant. We don't just want to offer a program because, you know, we offer it and it's either you buy it or not kind of thing. That's not what we wanted to do. We wanted to offer a program that basically worked around students' schedule, that basically integrates itself with your life and your schedule as well. So based on that, what we look for and what we've been asking students is like, what you're looking for when you start a program. And these are some of the reasons students would have mentioned to us. First of all, they want a program that's accredited. So it must be recognized, because if they're looking at traveling, and in fact, I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but a lot of students are migrating to Canada. Canada has been recruiting a lot of Trinidadian students as well, and especially if they have a bachelor's degree. So they want their program to be recognized in Canada, in America, in England, etc. And the programs that we offer with the UK universities, they're all recognized in the US, Canada, and UK as well. So it's easy for you to gain employment there. It's not like you have to go and do a conversion exam or anything like that. So your qualification is accepted there. So that's fantastic. So it's accredited. The other thing they look for is that the program had to be, so we're going to look at these here. So the program, they wanted a program that was accelerated. They wanted to get their degree in the shortest possible time. So what we did was, we would have, before we started this program, we met with several different universities, reviewing their programs, trying to get the one that would suit the needs. So we looked for a program that was accelerated. So for example, this degree could be completed in 2 years. And I'll explain more how that's possible as well, without diluting the content, without, shortchanging any aspect of the program at all. And we'll discuss those for you as well. The program needs to be practical, because we've listened to employers as well. Employers want employees who are not just qualified, but when they come into the workplace, they can add value. They have skills that will get them up and running right away. So in terms of the program is extremely practical. You're developing skills in programming and designing interfaces and databases in a wide range of areas as well, so that when you get into the workplace, you already have an initial set of skills that start you off as well. Of course, the workplace is where you're going to learn a lot. The best teachers are the ones that are where you actually get to learn, do itself, and your job is one of the greatest places for learning new skills, right? And of course, they wanted something that was accessible. A lot of students as well, we're finding that looking more for classes available online, or because they have to travel for work as well, they wanted to ensure they could submit their assignments online or not miss a test, those kind of things, because they're traveling. So they wanted a program that was globally accessible. And of course, it must be affordable as well. So those are the 5 key areas that we looked at. And based on those, I'll share more details with you as we go along. So those are the top areas that students were looking for when they were choosing a program. And that's not specific to the BSc. We found that with the MBA and with all the qualifications. So we deliberately, when choosing, we deliberately looked for programs that satisfy these, what we call the 5 years, right? Say they satisfy these 5 years in order for us to make it into the market, bring it into the market. The reality is that when we come into Trinidad as well, we must have a competitive, as a business, we teach students about having a competitive advantage, what makes your product unique. And therefore, we had to find things that made our product unique in our marketplace. So in Trinidad, there are many other places you could do a bachelor's degree in IT. What makes ours unique? And that's where the 5 years comes in, okay? So whenever you are looking at studying a program, you have to figure out which of these are important to you, and maybe other factors too, and therefore determine, and that's how you make your choice. Because between me and you, any of the degree programs in Trinidad, they are wonderful programs. I would support you in any one that you do. But what you have to do is choose a program now that meets checklists of the things that you are specifically looking for, right? And therefore, what I'll present you some of the strengths of this program as well, and so that you get a better idea in terms of what are the advantages of the program, so you can help to make a better choice. Okay, all right. So the first one is accredited, and the program is accredited in the UK, first of all, by the Quality Assurance Agency, right? And what the Quality Assurance Agency does, they would advise the government on applications for degree awarding powers. Basically, you just cannot create a university just like that. You need to get approval. You need to apply to offer to be called a university, and QAA does that. They inform the governing body about granting approval to different bodies to become universities as well. And the University of Bedfordshire is QAA approved as well. They would have had to go through their frequent QAA approval as well. So they are quality assured by QAA. In Trinidad and Tobago, the Accreditation Council of Trinidad and Tobago has approved as well, or recognizes the University of Bedfordshire as a recognized institution also. So you can feel comfortable that your program is ACTT recognized in Trinidad as well. Okay. Now, one part about quality is the following, right? So because we also have to undergo scrutiny from the university as well. So these are some of the things that the university does to ensure transnational quality, right? One is all the marketing and promotions that CTS College does has to be approved by the university. All our admissions. So if you apply, you are not approved by CTS College. Our role is simply to provide all the information to you, to collect your application, collate the information, and we forward it to the university. The university makes the choice. We could assess your application to determine where we believe you'll best be suited, but the university always makes the choice, the final choice, in terms of where you get started, right? In terms of our lecturers, all lecturers must be approved by the university as well. All our teaching material provided by the university, but we could also we could also modify it to add local context to it as well. Okay, but they will provide the teaching material and we can now customize it as we see fit as well. For example, I also teach in the program and I do a lot of customization to the material to make it what I consider to be more student friendly, if you want to call it that, right? In terms of the assessments, all assessments are set and marked by the university. And they also conduct annual audit as well as continuous approval and review from the students as well, where they seek your feedback also. Okay, the program is globally accessible. There are over 20,000 students from 120 different countries enrolled in the programs at the university from all over the world, right? And now the students as well have access to an online learning environment called BRIO. BRIO is Bedfordshire Resources, right? So this is your online environment for students called BRIO. As a student, you will have access to BRIO and you'd be able to log in, view all your lecture notes, submit all your assignments on BRIO, and BRIO is available 24/7. So BRIO is really an online learning environment. So as a student, you have access to a portal with all your lecture notes and everything that you need for the course. And of course, there's an information desk that's available as well 24/7 for you guys also. The program is also practical and it helps you to solve real IT challenges. So as I mentioned to you guys as well, one of the things we look for in the program is it must be practical, it must be work applied. You need to be able to solve problems, not just theory only, but you need to apply theory to solve problems. And throughout the entire program, you'll be solving problems from the very early, from the bridging program all the way to the final year as well. Okay. The program is also accelerated. As I mentioned to you, that this program can be completed in 2 years, right? And I want to share with you how we were able to achieve this, right? Now, this same BSc in the UK runs for 3 years, right? But I want to explain how we were able to deliver this over 2 years. So each semester is made up of 4 months. So a year one has 3 semesters. But what happens is that in semester 1, you'll do 2 subjects or 2 units. In semester 2, you will do another 2 units. So that's 4 units. So in 2 semesters, you have completed your 4 units. You've completed the subjects. And then in semester 3, you'll go on a 4-month break. So their year is made up of 3 semesters. 2 semesters you do classes, and in the 3rd semester you go on a break. Now, why is that a break important? You see, in the UK, a lot of students travel far to get to their campus, so they stay on campus. So that 4-month break allows students to go back to their families as well. A lot of these students are full-time students. Therefore, some students travel from China to go to the UK to study, and from different countries as well. So the UK has a lot of foreign students who come into the UK to study as well. These students need that 4 months to go back to their families. In Trinidad and Tobago, do you see that being the same as well? Do you see a lot of students, you know, when you plan to study, do you plan to come and reside in Chaguanas to study, or would you be studying from home, right? How do you plan to do this? Assuming that classes were not online. Classes are online, so ideally you don't need to visit the campus, right? But the reality is that in Trinidad, we don't really have that issue of students needing that 4 months to go back home, because the bulk of our students, they commute from home to CTS to do their classes when it was face-to-face. So I indicated to the university, look, it's very different. Trinidad is a much smaller country than the UK, and students live at home and study, right, and do their studies. So based on that, we don't need that extra 4 months of just doing nothing. So what they did was they made a modification to the program to facilitate us. So after you've done your 2 semesters or 8 months, they allow you to move directly into the next level. So based on that now, 8 months you finish year 1, 8 months you finish year 2, 8 months you finish year 3. So in 24 months, which is 2 years, you've completed the degree, right? Of course, if you're starting at the bridging level, it's just 4 additional months. And the other benefit is that you could start at different levels. So you don't need to start at year 1 necessarily. Based on your previous experience and qualifications, you may be able to start at year 2 or level 5 or year 3, which is level 6. So there are many advantages of the program, and that's what I really liked about it. And the university was willing to tweak the program to facilitate some of these changes as well. So based on this, you can complete your degree now in as little as 2 years, okay? Now, the program is an affordable investment, and I will share with you more about the costing as well later on in this slide. So we'll discuss costing and payment plans and all of those later on. But what we've also done too is we've also partnered with JMMB to assist students in obtaining loans as well. So if it is you're looking for a loan, we work with JMMB to assist students in qualifying for loans to help you to cover the cost of your program, okay? Now, how is the program structured? So in terms of the structure, we look more at in terms of the structuring of the program so that you be able to, you can see how it works out. So the program, you have level 4, level 5, level 6. Notice I didn't talk about the bridging as yet, right? So if you're starting at level 4, the level 4 is ideal if you have A levels or CAPE, or if you don't have CAPE, not a big issue. Do you have IT work experience? Then you could start at level 4. Or if you have general work experience, so let's say you never did anything in IT, but you have some work experience, whether it's in business, whether it's in whatever area you have work experience in, it can be considered as entry into level 4, right? Even if you did IT certifications, you can start at level 4. Good. So when you're applying, you should indicate the level that you'll be starting at as well, right? And we're going through now in terms of the different levels. Now, for level 5, you can start directly in level 5 if you have, well, you could go into level 5 if you've completed level 4, or if you have IT work experience and you have IT certs, you can get into level 5, right? So if you have 2 or more years IT work experience and you have IT certifications, you can start directly into level 5. And you could start directly into levels. Well, you could move from level 5 to level 6, or you can start directly into level 6 if you have an associate degree or a higher national diploma or a level 5 IT diploma, or you have IT 6 or more years of IT work experience and IT certs, you could start in level 6. The other thing as well, you may have started an IT program, but you did not finish it. If you started and you dropped out along the way or whatever the reason and you didn't complete it, please let me know, because those qualifications can really help in terms of this degree, because it can really help you in getting enrolled as well at the different levels. Because a lot of students may be a bit embarrassed to say, well, look, I started and I didn't finish this qualification, and not realizing that because they would have done IT units in that program, it would help in terms of getting you started at a higher level. So if you had started an IT qualification and didn't finish it, still let me know, because those could help you to gain entry into a higher level as well, okay? All right. Now, what if you don't satisfy any of these, right? What do you do? And that's where the bridging program comes in. The bridging program was made now for anyone who did not meet the requirements to start directly into level 4 or level 5 or level 6, right? So based on that, the bridging program means now everyone can get started at some point in the program. So who should start the bridging program then? Ideally, the bridging program is a person who's straight out of CXC with no work experience. So if you just have CXC passes and you have no work experience, now I didn't say IT experience, I said no work experience. It doesn't matter whether you work as a clerk in a store, as a salesperson, it doesn't matter what your job is. If you have no IT experience, bridging program is where you start, right? And you have no other qualification, bridging is where you start. But if you have any higher qualification, right, or you have work experience, you should be able to start at level 4. Good, but when you send your application, please include all the details so that we can, and on your resume as well, so that we can assess it and probably guide you in terms of where best to start, okay? So this makes it possible now for anyone to start the program, because you could, if you don't start at the higher level, there's always the bridging level. Is that very clear to you guys, that there's no way you could be rejected from the program, right? Everyone will be accepted, whether it's at the bridging level or at a higher level, okay? All right, so this is a bit of a little infographic on the progression from bridging to the higher levels, right? Okay, now what would I learn in this program? What are some of the things that will be covered? So just to give you an idea, year one focuses more on introductory skills, introduction to software development. So you learn programming, you learn about Java programming, you learn Python programming, you learn about programming and access as well. You learn about SQL, you learn about databases, you learn about networking, right? And you will have access to Cisco Academy, right? And you will gain a Cisco qualification as well within level 4, right? You learn about how computers are built, how computers work. So it's more introductory for persons joining the program, but it provides you with wonderful programming skills in Java and Python, which will help to take you through the higher levels as well. In year 2 now, the focus of year 2 more is in terms of software design and development. So you will be building applications in year 2. They will tell you what applications to build and you will build accordingly as well, right? You'll learn more about systems design and the different approaches to testing software, etc. And in year 3, you'll learn more about project management. You will also learn about building applications, and your final project, you'll also learn about design, which is the user experience side of it, designing nice interfaces. In the past, the programmer, when I studied computer science, the programmer, basically the design, the programming, everything. But now, if you look at television and you look even at building a house, you'll realize now an architect is different from the builder. The architect's focus is about designing house plans and stuff, and the builder is about, you know, the actual construction. In IT as well, the fields are becoming more, you know, more specific as well. So, and more specialized. So therefore, for example, designing the interface is now an area of specialization, and building the interface is also building, which is more programming, is also another area. So we are teaching you both programming as well as we learn web programming as well, developing web apps as well. So those are some of the things you will be learning throughout the course. Also designing nice, useful interfaces, managing project. And for the final year, you have a thesis to do, and the thesis you have to build an application, right? And you'll also have to do a technical report, like a thesis, to go with it. And in terms of the modules, these are the different modules. So in the bridging program, there's just one unit, one subject you need to do. They call it units, we call it subject. So there's one unit you need to do, and it's worth 30 credits. Once you pass this, you gain entry into level 4. Right? In level 4, there are 4 units, each worth 30 credits, but you could only do 2 at a time. So please note, you could only do 2 at a time, right? So, and you must do 2 at a time. You cannot do less, you cannot do more, because, okay, so you're doing 2 subjects at a time. Now, one thing to note, with the university, 2 subjects is 60 credits, and that is considered full-time at the university, right? So you will be studying the program full-time. Please be careful with the term. In the UK, they call it full-time. In Trinidad, we'll call it part-time, because we determine part-time, full-time based on the time of the class. So we would say, well, if my classes are on Saturdays only, that's part-time. If I have classes whole week, that's full-time during the day. That's what we call full-time, but the university doesn't call it by that. They look at how much credits you're doing, and that determines, your workload determines if it's full-time or part-time. So 60 credits, they call it full-time, and hence the reason you will be considered as a full-time student to the university and the program, even though your classes are on weekends, right? Okay, so you have 4 subjects, 4 units in level 4, 4 units in level 5, 4 units in level 6, right? So each level is worth 120 credits. So the total number of credits for year 1, year 2, year 3 is 360 credits for your bachelor's degree. Okay? All right. Any questions so far, guys? Okay, so
I have a question about the bridging program.
Sure.
So I have a diploma in web design and graphic design from School of Practical Accounting, and I would like to know if I would still have to do the bridging program.
Not at all, sir. You should be able to start directly at a higher level as well, right? Well, we look at the diploma you did. Is that the 9-month diploma or a 2-year diploma?
I think it's the 9-month one.
Right. So you may be able to start year 1, right?
Yeah.
Or possibly level 4, level 5, depending. We'll take a look and we'll see, right?
All right. Yeah.
All right, cool. Okay. Guys, don't forget to WhatsApp Stefan Rampasad, right? Stefan Rampasad, your name, email, and phone number as well, and to take part in the survey as well, right? The next thing we're going to look at is how can you fit this into your busy life? Because most of you are working, you're mature, you're working, and or you have kids, etc. You don't want a program that is going to take up too much of your life, but yes, you need to get your degree, but you don't want something that basically snuffs your all your free time. But it does take up some of it. You know it's an investment of your time as well, but you want something that is manageable, something that you could enjoy life without sacrificing your family too much, right? And that is what we've tried to do with the program as well. So in terms of fitting this into a busy life, this is what we've done. First of all, there are 3 intakes. Now, the university calls it the February, June, and October intake. But just to note, the February intake sometimes starts in January, right? And the October intake sometimes starts at the end of September. Okay, so but there are 3 intakes. They call it the February, June, and October intake. So you could start 3 different times a day. So if you miss one intake, the next one is 4 months away. Good. The next thing is in terms of your classes. Now, how many subjects or how many units are you doing per semester? Except for the bridging program, you're doing 2 subjects at a time, right? So each subject, you have a 2-hour class per week. The class is typically on a Saturday, right? So you have a 2-hour class per week. It's on a Saturday. So you're doing 2 subjects. So that's 4 hours for the weekend classes. 4 hours for the week of classes is what you need, right? But that's contact time with us, but you still need to do a lot of self-study. You will typically have 2 to 3 assignments or assessments per unit. Now, some units may have more, but the more assessments, so they might be small, tiny assessments, right? But you typically have 2 large assessments on most units. The semester typically runs for 12 to 15 weeks. Sometimes when they say 15 weeks, it's because it includes a break for 2 weeks, etc. Right? So normally, and then at the end of the semester, often you have a 2-week semester break at the end of the semester, right? So that's typically how a semester works. Now, let's take a look at an example timetable, right? So if you look at bridging program, you have a class 8 to 10 on a Saturday, right? You have a class, so I'll just have to update this. The lecturer is Afraz actually. Then for level 4, right? If you're doing level 4, you have a class from 8 to 10, right? And from 10:30 to 12:30, right? You could ignore the lecturer names because I have to make a correction here, right? But basically notice you have 4 hours of classes and that's it, right? Level 5, 4 hours of classes as well. That's it. And level 6, 4 hours of classes, but you're doing 2 subjects. So what you do in level 6, we added an additional class and I'll explain why, right? So this unit for the project, notice you have 2 classes for the project. And why did we split it into 2? For the project, you have to build a software artifact, like you have to develop a web application, right? So for example, we're building our e-commerce application currently. That's the project. Most students are doing that project this semester, right? Now, what we did was, because a lot of students are challenged in terms of the programming, we've allocated the Saturday class for the programming. So they will do the programming on Saturday class, but they also have an assignment like written reports to do. So what we do, they'll have tutorial sessions for each assignment, but the tutorial sessions are not every week. So we carry tutorial sessions on a weekday, right? From 6 to 8, right? For the tutorial session. Now, of course, we could merge both into the Saturday, but because we recognize that student needed more time in programming, we allocated the Saturday to the student to do the programming, and on evenings, right? Not every week, we'll have a assignment tutorial to prepare you for the written reports that you have to submit, okay? And that's only at level 6. Now, I want you to know the following. It is a bachelor's degree and you would have assignments, and therefore sometimes for the assignment, you may need additional help, additional support. In cases like those, we will card additional session to help you, whether it's a tutorial because you have an assignment coming up, you want further clarification, or you need any additional help, or etc. And remember, our key feature is supporting students. So what we may do, we may card an additional class when you have a tutorial, like a tutorial to help to prepare you for your assessments that are coming up. Those typically might be during the week, but it's not regular, and it's only when you have an assignment, and it's really to support you, to help you to understand the assignment clearly, to guide you to review your work, to make sure that your work is of sufficient standard and stuff like that before you submit it to the university. So in cases like those, we will card additional classes. All classes are currently online, and we intend to to remain online, but that, again, I'll say the word intend. Our intention is to remain online and continue to deliver the course fully online. But of course, we would need further approvals as well. Right now, because the government has closed face-to-face classes, all schools have been approved to deliver online classes, but our intent is to continue to deliver classes online as well afterwards, okay? All right, so that's an example timetable for you for the January intake. And how would you be assessed? So we indicated that you'll have 2 to 3 assessments per subject, and the assessments vary. For example, you'll have coursework, which is more assignment based, right? You may have group work as well as individual projects. You will have to build a portfolio. So in one module, you may have to do a portfolio. What a portfolio is, these are small individual assignments that you compile and you submit as a portfolio. So each week you may have to do something, and the small increments, and at the end of maybe 6 weeks, all of them you submit as a portfolio, right? You may have an essay to do, although essays are not very popular, right? You may have presentations to do. Now, I love the presentation, and I'll tell you why, right? A lot of times I have experience as well that we have graduates who don't know how to market themselves. They're afraid to talk. So when they go to an interview, they're not the best at marketing themselves at the interview. They're not much of talkers, and therefore employers, they don't always get the best. They're not always hired, because when they go to the interview, their resume is really good, it's well qualified, etc. But when they go to the interview, they don't talk much, they don't sell themselves much. And what our role is to help to prepare you for it. And what the university does for the assignments as well, you'll have to do a presentation to present your work as well. And those are really helpful, because those presentations help to build confidence in you. It helps to build your marketing and presentation skills, also your ability to speak and all of those things, right? So those things are really helpful skills, because when you go to work, when you're going for jobs as well, you need to know how to market yourself, how to sell yourself, how to sell your skills. And those things are crucial. So I love the presentations, because it is developing students in their soft skills as well, to help them so that when they were going to work as well, even in work, you have to do presentations to different level of management, etc. And these things come in handy because you're building those skills, okay? All right, so we talked a bit about assignments already before, right? So what about passing a unit now? Now, as I said, you assess via multiple assignments. In order to pass a unit, right, or a subject, the sum of all your marks must be 40 or more. So you must achieve 40 or more marks in your assignment in order to pass a unit. Now, once you have passed all your units, you can move from level 4 to level 5 or level 5 to level 6. So to progress from one level to the next level, you either pass all subjects, or if you pass at least 3 of the 4 and you got a grade of, so you passed 3 of the 4 and you failed 1, you could still progress, but you must have gotten 35 or more in that subject, you can progress, okay? So just again to reiterate, the pass mark is 40%, which is typical for most UK universities, right? 40% is your pass mark. You add up the marks in all your individual assignment, and once your total is 40 or more, you pass, okay? And to move from one level to the other level, you must pass at least 3 out of the 4 subjects in order to progress. And if you fail a subject, you must get 35 or more in that subject to progress. Now, what if you fail a module? If you fail a unit, there's a forgiving system called referral. So once you fail, you will get a referral. A referral basically is an assignment that they'll give you to do. And if you pass that assignment, you'll pass the module. If you fail the assignment, then you have to repeat the entire module. And of course, you'll have to pay to retake the unit. But the rule of thumb is once you attempt a module and you submit your assignment, once you fail, they will give you a referral. And that referral is basically another assignment. They'll give you some weeks to get it done. And if you pass that assignment, you pass the unit, and you don't need to repeat the module, okay? But if you fail the referral, right, or don't submit, etc., then you'll have to pay to retake the unit, okay? All right, now, how is your class of degree determined? At the end of the program, you could graduate with first class honors, upper second class honors, lower second class honors, or third class honors. So to calculate your class of degree, this is what they do. So first year does not count towards the class of the degree, right? So your grades in first year does not count. But if you started from year 2 or year 1, to determine your overall class of degree, they look at your grades in year 3 and year 2. They take for year 3, your project must be included. So your project is mandatory. So they take your best 90 credits or the best 3 subjects, but your project must be included in that, right? So your project is included. And of course, the 2 additional units from the final year. But the final year is basically double weighted. And also because you would have done year 2, right? They take your best 90 credits from year 2. So again, if you progress from level 5 and level 6, they take your best 90 marks from level 5 and your best 90 marks in level 6, but your project is mandatory in level 6. Your level 5 marks is single weighted, while your final year marks are double weighted. Okay. Now, what if you started directly in the final year? How was your class of degree determined? Well, your class of degree is determined as the best 90 credits in your final year, but the project must be included in it, right? So they take 30 credits from the project, okay? And the next 2 best marks, okay? And that is how they determine it. Now, to get first class honors, your mark must be 70 or more to get, so that's first classes, your mark must be in the 70s. To get upper second, your average mark must be in the 60s. Lower second, your average must be in the 50s. And third class, your mark will be in the 40s, okay? Now, I did tell you that CTS College is known for support, right? So I'll share with you a bit of the support. First of all, for example, when you apply, when you send in an email to CTS, you have a team that's working to support you to get all the relevant information. This information system is even part of our support. We don't just want you to start a program, you just apply and start. We really want you to go through, even students who have applied, we ask them to attend the information session. The information session to us is crucial because it is about providing all the information to you. We want you, when you make a commitment to start the program, to be fully committed to it rather than just, you start and realize, hey, after 1 month, I don't have funding for the program. I didn't realize that's the course, or I didn't realize, it will take this much, or I didn't realize classes were on Saturdays. All this information should be known beforehand. And even in terms of the program, the university as well, all of these things we want you to know so that you have all the information to make the right choice. Okay, so in terms of our support as well, we have the information session. We are basically, as I said, it's a concierge service we're providing. When you apply, you'll have your program manager, who is Stefan Rampasad. He will take your application, submit it to the university. When the university responds, he provides feedback. In fact, he even give you feedback once you apply to let you know it was submitted. And it will take about 2 to 3 weeks to get a response. Once the response comes in, he would advise you as well, right? He will submit your letter of offer, etc. Then we will have, before you even get started with classes, after you've been accepted, we will conduct an induction. An induction is basically, we will do Harvard referencing. We will also tell you about the program and go through all the details of the program, again, to make sure you are fully equipped and you are fully ready by the time classes start. And of course, when classes start as well, we will be supporting you. We will provide, apart from regular classes, we provide tutorial to support you throughout your assignments as well. We review your assignments, although the university marks it, we review it to ensure, to help you, to tell you where you could improve and enhance it as well to get a better grade, that sort of thing. If you need letters, all of those, we will provide all of that to you. There's no real need for you to actually come to the college now because of the whole COVID situation. We will handle everything from a distance for you, right? And so that you can feel a sense of comfort. We would love to meet you there. This is no way telling you don't come to the college. We want to see you. We want to build a relationship with you. But at the same time, we are working with your busy lifestyle to help to fit in everything for you as well. Okay. Now, apart from those as well, you will have access to Brio, which is the online learning environment. And on Brio, all your study materials, support guides, grades, everything will be there. But what CTS has also done is we have our own online, we have a shared folder, and in that shared folder, we will have all your lecture notes from CTS College. All the classes are recorded and they are shared on that folder as well. So you have access to all the recording of each class, right? So classes are recorded. So if you miss a class, or even if you was in class, but you want to just review it, you have access to review the entire class, right? Then you also get access to past assignments as well. You can review, we provide guidance and samples from past students also. So you get a lot of information available to you. We try to get books and journals and etc. made available to you as well. So you get a lot of support throughout the program, right? The pass rate in the program is extremely high. We have a lot of students getting really high grades as well, like A grades as well, right? We do have 1 or 2 students who get referral, and between me and you, you know, there is a lot, while we provide a lot of support, there are some students who don't participate in the support as well, and they don't attend classes, they don't submit assignments, and there's only so much we can do, right? And you have a very important role to play, and I want you to know as well, I'm not trying to minimize the program and make it appear easier than it is, you know, than it is. It is work. You are required to work hard. You are required to earn your degree, but we are there supporting you, just like a good parent who will provide, like you're in primary school and they provide all the resources, go through stuff with you, try to get the best support and lessons and all of that for you. Our role is to do all of that for you as well, because as I said, we have a vested interest in you guys. You are the reason why CTS is here, right? And to me, as I said, this is my ministry. I believe this is where God wants me to be, and therefore I'm particularly vested in your success as well, okay? So in terms of the induction, what does CTS do in our induction program? So our induction program, as I said, we would cover like Harvard referencing. We will go through plagiarism checks and help you to understand the importance of academic writing as well. So those are some of the things we do to get you ready for your work, all right, for your studies. In terms of our lecturers, we have a range of wonderful lecturers who are very much willing to support you. Our lecturers have a lot of industry experience, right? So most of our, in fact, all our lecturers are not teachers by profession, right? They are actually industry experts who are qualified in IT, right? Who work in their different fields as well, who are also teaching you, but they do a fantastic job of supporting you and teaching you throughout the program, okay? So, and of course you'll have representation. The university has something called the student voice, where you have a voice. But I want you to know as well that apart from the student voice, that you don't need to be part of a committee to give us feedback. We have an open door policy, and you could come directly to me. As much as I'm the principal, my numbers are available in all our emails as well. You could reach out to me anytime. You are my student. You are taking a chance to enroll at CTS College, and therefore, as far as I'm concerned, as the head of the institution, I am responsible for you as well. And that is why it's really important to me that you have my number, because the fact is that you are placing your trust in CTS and in me to help you as well. Any concerns you have, we don't always get it perfect, guys. We do make mistakes. I have a learning staff. I too am learning, and therefore from time to time we will falter. But the reality is that our heart is always in the right place to serve you, right? So if there are any problems, feel free to liaise with me. If you want to give me feedback, you just want to chat, you have my number as well. Utilize it also, okay? Now, what resource would you need for the course, right? Well, definitely, because you're studying from home now. At the college normally have Wi-Fi and all of that, but because you're studying from home, I will strongly encourage you guys to have a laptop and good internet access as well. So laptop and good internet access are some of the key resources you would need to take this course. Books and all of that, we tend to get as much of them for you available on soft copy as much as possible where we can. But between me and you, all our lecture notes, all of that make up for all the stuff that you would typically need, right? Now, what about graduating? Where would I graduate? Well, you can go to the UK and graduate once the borders are reopened and once they resume face-to-face graduation. Right now, graduation are all virtual. But apart from that too, you can also graduate with CTS as well. Our graduation ceremony is usually at the Hyatt, but this year because of the situation, there's no graduation. Well, we're looking at a virtual graduation as well for our students, right? So next, we're going to look at the entry requirements. How can I qualify for this program? Well, we did discuss some of the entry requirements already when we talked about the bridging program, level 4, level 5. So I'm not going to spend much time more on those because we would have covered those for you as well. And then apart from that, once you apply, we will review your application and also make recommendations in terms of where's the best place for you to start, okay? So in terms of applying now, what do I need? If you're applying for the program, you need to complete the application form, which we will send to you after this session. We will email you the application form, and we want you to send back to us the completed application form with signatures. If you can't sign it, don't worry about it. What you do, you could email us your signature and we will insert it for you. You don't need to print the application form, guys. You could fill out everything in soft copy on the computer and email it back to us. if you can't sign it, not a problem, right? We could get your signature from your ID, right? Or you can just sign a blank piece of paper and we can insert it into the form for you if you'd like, to help you out also, right? Apart from that, so we need the completed application form, your ID. If you could include your resume. The reason for your resume is to help us to see if you're leaving out crucial stuff as well, right? And then apart from that, if you did any IT studies, if you have any certificates from those studies, it will be helpful. You don't absolutely need transcript, but if you have your certificate. Now, if you didn't complete the program, then your transcript will be helpful, okay? If you did any IT certs, any copies of the certificate of completion would be helpful as well, right? So those are some of the things you would need, okay? So you submit those to us and we will compile your application. We will submit it to the university. They take a couple of weeks to process it. They will send us an offer letter. We will inform you of it, right? And then once they accept you, they will send you an offer letter and we will send that information to you. You need to complete the offer letter and a registration form and to accept your place, and you send it back. If you're not accepting the place, you decline the offer, you could indicate so in the form and email it back to us. Then for those who are starting as well now and you completed the stuff, the university will register you and we will also register you, and we will then have the induction and you start your classes. And that's pretty much how it works, okay? Of course, the fees are payable after you've completed your registration form, right? We have a due date for fees, but we will discuss that after as well, right? What about pricing? So I know this is one that you're focusing on as well. So let's look at the cost. So first, I want you to note, this is the full cost per level, right? The full cost, and then I'll tell you about the payment plans, right? The different payment plans available. If you're starting at the bridging level, the registration fee is $500. The tuition fee is $2,000. And the university fee is £150. So these are the three components: registration, tuition, and the university fees. If you're starting at level 4, which is year 1, there are 4 units. You're not doing all 4 one time, but there are 4 units. Each semester, you pay $500 to register, and there are 2 semesters. You pay $2,000 per subject for tuition, and there are 4 subjects in total. So the total cost of tuition is $8,000, and the university fees is £600. So if you add up these now, right, it's £600 for the university fee in total, but you're not paying that up front, right? I'll tell you about payment plans. You're paying $8,000 in total for tuition, and it's 2 semesters, so it's $1,000 for the level 4 registration fee. For level 5, it's $500 per semester to register. It's $2,250 per subject by 4, which is $9,000 in total for tuition, and the university fees remain the £600. Level 5, however, again $500 per semester to register, $2,500 per subject for tuition at level 6, which is $10,000 in tuition, and the university fees is £375 per subject by 4, which is £1,500. So these are the fees for each level. Now, we do have payment plans available. Let's discuss the payment plans. Now, you can pay per semester. So this is your semester fee, or you could pay monthly. So let's first look at the semester fee. For the semester, notice this is per semester. So you're doing 2 subjects per semester. So in level 4, you're doing 2 subjects registration so for each semester, you pay $500 to register. You're paying $4,000 for the semester in tuition fees, and you're paying £300 for your 2 subjects for level 4. Level 5, you're doing 2 subjects in a semester. It's $500 to register. It's $2,250 by 2, which is $4,500 for tuition, and £300 to the university. Level 6, $500 registration, $5,000 for tuition, £750 to the university. Now, what about monthly payment plans? We do have monthly payment plans. The monthly payment plans apply for the tuition fee, right? So how it works, in the bridging program, $500 to register, and for tuition, you pay $500 per month for 4 months. $500 per month for 4 months, and your first month of payment is this month you're starting in, right? And the UoB fees is £150. If you're starting level 4, $500 to register, you're paying $500 per month per subject. $500 per month per subject, but you're doing 2 subjects. So it's really, because you're doing 2 units, it's $1,000 in tuition per month for 4 months. And you pay $150 per unit at the start of the semester. Level 5, you're paying $562.50 per month per unit. So basically, this is roughly 1,125 or so you'll be paying per month, right? And in level 6 now, you'll be paying $625 per subject per month, which is 6 and 6, $1,250 per month you're paying here, okay? For your tuition, $500 to register, $375 per unit for the university fees. So this is your monthly payment plan. The monthly payment plan applies to the tuition fee. The monthly payment plan applies to tuition fee where you're given 4 months to pay off the tuition and you pay equal amounts each month, right? So you divide your total tuition by 4. So what you do, if you go back to the slide, you take your total tuition, you divide it by 4, and that is what you pay monthly. Any questions regarding the monthly payment? All right. So we do have a special offer for you all, and with a special offer, you can receive up to $1,000 off each level, and that will apply for the full program as well, for each level of the program. So how could you get up to $1,000 off per level? Now note, it's $250 per unit. So if you're doing the bridging program, it will just be $250, but if you're doing level 4, level 5, level 6, it could add up to $1,000 per level. How do I get my $250 off per subject or the $1,000 off? Well, here's the special condition, right? You must submit all your documents by the 26th of October. So you're given a week and 2 additional days to submit your application. Now, when you're submitting your application, you're emailing it to study@ctscollege.com. Okay, please email the application to study@ctscollege.com. Study@CTS College is a group email, so it allows it for me to see it as well as Stefan, the program manager, to be able to see it. Okay, and your tuition fees and the university fees should be paid in full for the semester by 10 January. So you have to pay your tuition and university fees, your semester fees by 10th of January 2021. So you have until 10 January to complete the payment, but you must submit your application by the 26th October. Is that sufficient time for you guys to complete your application, guys?
Yeah, it is.
All right. If you need any help, please let us know. We are more than happy to assist you as well. All right. We can help you if you're having any challenge, right? So sure, go ahead. Yes.
I have a question. So if the individual does not have like their certificate for CXC in hand, right? What
Not a problem.
Procedure then?
Okay. Did they write CXC?
Yes, they did.
Did they have did they get it off CXC's website? When they, it's unofficial results, they will put on CXC's website.
Mm-hmm.
Would they be able to get that?
Yes, they would.
Then that's fine.
Okay, no problem.
Right? So that's fine. Now, even if you don't have any documents and you're starting the bridging, it's not as crucial. We need your ID definitely, but I would still encourage it because we want to keep those things on file as well. All right. So if any unofficial results are also acceptable for us. Okay. Any other question regarding documents that you need? All right, so the question is the program GATE covered, right? So we just covered the cost of tuition there, right? So in terms of is it GATE covered, just to answer your question, GATE has been removed from all private institutions and all registered institutions since 2017. What happens is with the falling price of oil, the government had to find ways to reduce national expenditure. So what they did was one of the things they did was they removed GATE funding from all the private institutions and from all foreign programs as well, right? So GATE is not applicable, but that's where now we have the payment plans, and we also work with GMMB to assist students in getting loans as well. All right. So that's to answer the question on GATE approval. Okay. Now, just a note as well, guys, if you're looking specifically for GATE funding, COSTAT program is GATE funded and UTT as well, but there are some restrictions to GATE funding also. The only thing though is that for the COSTAT and UTT program, to complete your bachelor's degree takes 5 years, right? So you would be GATE funded, but well, you should, depending on the requirements as well. But GATE sometimes only cover 50% of your fees in some cases based on household income. But at the same time, what I'd encourage you to do, those programs are longer. It takes about 5 years to complete, but definitely something to consider if you're looking at the GATE coverage, right? when do I start? So our next start date is the 23rd of January. Classes are expected to start. So we'll start with an induction, right? On the 23rd of January. So semester start date is 23rd January, okay? So that brings us to the end of our presentation. I want to thank you for your time and effort for attending as well. The recorded session will be emailed to you later on today. We'll have to convert it, upload it to YouTube. It takes a few hours to get our task done, right? And later today, you'll be emailed with the link to the YouTube video as well. All right. Any questions you guys have? So we have an open forum now for questions and answers as well. Feel free to ask any questions you may have.
By chance, do you all have a table of how you all calculate GPA if you all do that?
The university doesn't use a GPA system. GPA is honestly more with US universities. So US universities use a GPA system. Most UK universities don't use a GPA system, although a few of them have started to introduce GPA, but their approach to marking is based on the credits. So they use a credit-based system rather than a GPA-based system, right?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi guys, just a quick announcement here. If there's anyone that didn't provide me with the information that I have mentioned in the chat, which would have been your full name, contact number, and email address, just message me privately before you leave the chat so I could have it stored. Thank you.
Yep, we do want to make sure you get this stuff after the session, so we need to ensure we got your email correctly. A couple emails did bounce when we were sending reminders. By the way, some of you did get a reminder about today's session via email. I would have sent an email yesterday evening about today's session with the link, etc. Although you should have gotten an automated one from before when you sign up for it, right? But I did send a reminder. So a few of you didn't get it because the email bounced. If you don't mind just giving us your email and phone number and name, please, so we can have it on file, right? Thank you so much. Any other questions you guys may have?
Ravi, this is Sunil here.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm all right. Sarita's dad. Well,
Of
Sarita
course.
would be signing up. I mean, I am a former student there, and I must say,
Of
you
course.
all are exceptional. So for
Thank
all the new people online, you don't have any regrets. My question, Ravi, is in terms of payment, right?
Right.
We have to come to the office, or you all take credit card on the phone, or how it works right now?
Okay, so what we do, we accept payment through online banking. We accept payment at the office as well. So in terms of the payment, I just want to go back to here, and we're going to discuss briefly in terms of the payment, right? The university fees is paid in pounds, right? Now, what happens is that you're not paying the university directly. You are paying CTS and we pay the university. Now, the reason for that is because the university decided that, look, if we have 100 students, they don't want to individually follow up with 100 students in a different country to try to get their fees. So what they did, they invoice CTS and we pay them, and you in turn pay us. The problem we're having though is getting pounds, because the bank advised that even though we have the TT amount, they're not giving us the pounds because we need like 80,000 pounds to pay the university. So what the bank recommended is we create a pound account, and therefore you pay us either with a bank draft or you could pay us with pound notes, but the bank is only accepting the polymer pound notes, right? So for the pounds, for the university, you have to pay us this in pounds, right? Made out of CTS College, and we have a pound account to accept it. So in order to do that, you may have to bring in the draft to CTS, or you could deposit it into an FCB account. We have an FCB account, so you could deposit this into that FCB account. So there are many FCB branches all over Trinidad, and you could go to FCB and deposit the pounds into that account, and then send us like a confirmation that you made a deposit of how much pounds. And once it shows up in the account, we will then, apply the payment to your account, right? For the TT now, the TT side, which is registration and tuition, you can pay us remotely via bank transfer. You could transfer to our bank, and now most banks have the option to transfer from one bank to the other, so you can pay via that. And we are in the process of setting up credit card payment online, but we don't have that option quite available as yet. But in the meantime, if you want to pay with credit card, you could come into the office and pay with credit card, but ideally you could pay at any bank of First Citizens, right? We have a TT account you could pay into, and send us a copy of the receipt. You could pay via bank transfer and send us a copy of the confirmation that the payment was made. And the other option is you come into the office to do the payment. So there are numerous options available for you guys. Okay. Thanks a lot, Sano. And I look forward to your daughter joining.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Hello.
Hi, Lisa.
Hi.
Lisa, you're not coming across clearly though. I'm hearing a lot of, like distortion.
I was interested in this degree for my son.
Right.
Okay, you hear me better now?
Much better now, Lisa.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is I was interested in the degree for my son. He is doing right now, he's at NESC doing his diploma in IT and networking. So I don't know if you're familiar with that at all.
Yes.
If you've heard about it or
it's a 2-year program
know about
at
it.
NESC.
Yeah, so it is, yes. And he was supposed to finish since August, but because of the COVID, everything got pushed back.
Yeah.
So I believe he's finishing at the end of October. It's the same question someone had before. He would not get his if he could start. Will you be able to tell if I send you the details?
Right. So here's what I will do, right? Because this semester starts in January. If you'd like, let's wait until he finishes the program and gets his results and then the application. But I will honor the commitment for you in terms of the same special offer. And what you do in his case, because he's waiting for his results, by then we can get it and you could submit his application at that point, right? Because if I send it incomplete, because he's going to complete dropping out, he may not be assessed the same as if he had completed. The other thing too, if he's completed with that program, there's a chance he may get into level 6 directly, but it's not a confirmation. Only after he applies, we'll be able to confirm. We'll make the decision.
Right. So that was my major concern, because I know they did a lot of work in the last 2 years. So
I think he can get into level 6, but it's not a guarantee, right? The university will assess the application and then approve him accordingly. Good?
Okay. Great, thank you.
Welcome.
All right then.
All right.
Okay, I have one more question. Regarding the fact that it's online right now and you need a suitable computer to handle the programs and to be using, do you all have a recommendation or something regarding that?
At least on sorry, Manisha, honestly, most of these new computers would be more than suitable. I don't have a specs list per se, but ideally any of so far we haven't had any students who had a complaint about like the software, loading the software, anything like that. And many of our students don't have the most updated ones. So if you're going to buy a child a computer, any of the new ones should be more than sufficient for the software that they need to run.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Guys, don't forget to fill out the survey as well, right? The survey is really helpful to us because we do spend a lot of money in advertising, and what we're trying to do is figure out where our customers are learning more about us. Was it through Facebook? Was it through a friend, etc., right? And specifically about the information session. So if you could tell us a bit more about the information session too. So just the link is on the chat. Stefan, just confirming you posted the link on the chat as well for the survey, right? So
yes, I did, but I know there was some other chats after, so I'd post it back again.
Thanks a lot. Guys, it's just going to take you just over a minute to finish that survey. Really, if you can do that for us, please, it will really help us. Right? Other questions as well?
I have a question about, like, let me say everything open back up as normal. Will there be classes in the school itself?
All right, okay. Josh, honestly, is Joshua who had asked me the question, or was it?
Yeah,
right?
Joshua.
Okay. Our intent is to continue the program online. However, if we need to get further approvals, right? What would have happened, honestly, with the whole closure of schools, the government, when face-to-face classes were closed off, allowances were made for online classes, and the Accreditation Council gave every school blanket approval to deliver their programs online. Truthfully speaking, right, in order to deliver programs online, you have to go through a process of approval for online delivery. And ACTT is developing a series of like criteria requirements for online delivery of programs. Once that criteria is available, we will be applying. We would like to continue the program online because the reason for it is we have been doing surveys with our students frequently. Every intake, we do multiple surveys at the start and then later on in the semester, because at the start, you may not be familiar with online learning. So how you feel about online classes may differ maybe 2 months into the program when you've done it for 2 months. So we do multiple surveys, and what we have found when we initially moved to online versus now, the acceptance rate and students actually clamoring for online classes. So over 75% of our students now are asking us to stay online, right? The other 25%, they neither here nor there. Maybe about 5% want us to return face-to-face, but 75% want to stay online, and the others, it doesn't matter which one that we choose. So given that's the case, our intention is to continue online, right? But again, it is subject to other approvals that we would need to get. Would it matter to you guys about moving face-to-face or online, or would you want us to return to face-to-face? If you don't mind sharing your feedback as well to us as well, if you could use the chat to indicate either face-to-face or online, or it does not matter. If you don't mind just putting one of those three things, face-to-face, online, or doesn't matter, in the chat, if you can help us to understand the views of our students. Josh, go right ahead.
So like the practical inputs of what we will be learning, how would that go about doing that online?
Right. So you will be taught programming online, and you will actually be going through, because the fact is, it's like, for example, when you're building code, right, we are doing it online, showing you step by step how to do it as well. And you'll be doing it on your computer as well. So that is why having the resources is important. So we will be teaching you coding, everything online, using slides, using the actual compiler, etc. And you can also share your screen for us to check and verify and all those things. It even makes it easier for us to review your work, because we will have Zoom session where you share your work and run your application for us to check and give feedback as well. Even right now, like for the students, they have to present their work to the university, and the online option is so helpful because the university can actually see your application running on your machine, right? So it has made things a lot easier in that regard, right? So if we had face-to-face classes, you would be at your computer, the teacher will be on the board teaching, right? But now we are teaching you here, and you are doing the work on your computer. And if you have a problem, you will share a screen, we can help you with the debugging, etc. So that is how it will be done. So the practicals are still being done. Nothing has really been compromised in that regard.
Thanks, no problem. I just wanted to get that clarified.
Very good question, actually. You can see as well from the messages as well, online seems to be the more prominent option as well. So even here as well, right, you have a lot of students preferring the online as well. I'll tell you from a lecturer's perspective, I love my face-to-face interaction with my students. Because to me, the joy of teaching is about relationship building. It's not just about sharing information, but it's about building relationship with your students. A lot, my staff at the college is really students as well. Stefan was a past student of CTS College, and really the relationship side is what I really value. And I do miss that, because in the online environment, it takes a lot longer to get that relationship going. I know my students by name, but now I don't know their faces because I don't really see it as often, right? So I miss that part. But the fact is that I can tell you the conveniences of online is like, wow, you know, I can go straight to my class, straight from my bedroom, etc. As the case may be, you know, the conveniences are far greater, right? And therefore, the other thing is that when I have to help students, we do helping remotely. You don't have to travel down to the college. You don't have to go through that traffic to get to Chaguanas on an evening or a Saturday. You don't have to worry about parking and all of the other headaches that usually ensue. And that extra time you're taking to get ready, to get organized and go to the college, all of that you're saving. So you're saving a lot of time as well. Okay. So there are so many benefits to the online classes. I look forward to you guys applying, to you joining the program, and to working with you guys also. I'll also share my number on the chat, so you guys have my number as well. Because as I said, it's important you're choosing CTS College and you're investing in CTS and in me as well. And I want to ensure that you guys, you know, feel free to liaise with me anytime. I'll put my name as well and my email address. So this is all my contact information. I don't have a separate phone for family, whatever, because my students, you know, you have full access to me whenever. You could get me on WhatsApp as well. please know though, I do get lots of calls, emails, etc., because I usually make myself very available. So if there are any delays in responding, feel free to just, just send a follow-up as well. Okay. Thanks so much as well. Thank you, Kevin, for posting the survey link as well. So the survey link is available, guys. I really want you to fill out the survey. Kevin is our marketing person as well. So you realize we specialize in.
Hello, morning. You hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
All right, I'm Jada. I
Hi,
was just
Jada.
wondering with regard to the payments,
Mhm.
is it possible for me to pay the full thing at once?
You can, definitely, we welcome that. In fact, that's preferred, right?
Okay, great.
I hope we have others like you who have the same concern as Jada. You'd like to be upfront.
Because I was hearing about the payment plans. However, like take for instance, if I'm getting a loan,
Yes, of course.
it'd be
you
best
pay
for me to
upfront.
just take out the whole thing and done the
Definitely.
story.
No. The
Yeah.
payment plan is just simply for flexibility if persons want. but
Understood.
the options, all right? All
Okay,
right,
no
guys.
problem.
Okay. If there are no further questions, guys, we could wrap up at this point. And I want to wish all of you a fantastic weekend. I hope you have a blessed weekend as well. Do something fun. If you have a parent as well, enjoy your day with your child, your kids, and your family as well. Do something fun and spontaneous this weekend. Nothing troublesome or anything to get you in trouble, right? But enjoy life as well. And you should hear from us later today with an email with the slides, etc. Enjoy it, everyone. Have a blessed day, guys. Goodbye.
Yes.